Let's build this image using Vinyl Master Cut from US Cutter. This is Vinny with Airbrush Savvy, and this is your weekly 15-minute rendering. First, let's start up Vinyl Master Cut. So today we are going to attempt to build this guy. This was a quick thing I put together, and let's go through it. So first, going to open up a new document, and to get this pesky guy out of the way, let's go through and make this bigger, just to kind of get it out of the way. So 30, tab 30, so let's make it 30 by 30. That is your sheet size, if you will, so we'll do that. Go over here and grab the Savvy logo, copy that, and come back over here, and we'll Control V, paste that in there, and we'll make it more manageable size. Let's just do 10 inches. Bring it in the middle, and let's zoom in on it here. There we are. So there's kind of our base logo. So now to get the two guitars in the background, let's jump online and jump into Google. Let's try guitar vector. So typing vector afterwards helps you get a good like a good shadow image of what you want. So here's the guitars that we found. This one and this one. And since we already did it, let's just pick two different ones just for fun. So let's go with, let's see, there's my tool right there. So what I like to do is when I find an image that I like, I go in here and I pick the snipping tool, and let's see, we haven't done, let's do the star one. So we'll pick that guy, copy, open up Vinyl Master, come in here, paste that, just stick it anywhere for now, jump back on Google, let's do the, why not, let's just do the double necked one. Open up snipping tool, snip that guy, again, copy, and paste right there. So now, right now it's just like a JPEG image, so we need to go back in and turn it into a SVG, so pretty much line art, to make it a usable file for the vinyl cutter. If we were going to cut this out and with the heat transfer vinyl and put it on a t-shirt or something. So let's go ahead and vectorize that. So this is turning it, a vector is a fancy name for a line. So we're pretty much just turning this into line art. So this is how it comes in. It comes in all pixely. So we're smoothing all the way down, corners all the way up, and there's our end result. So there we go. Bring this over so we know it's done, and do the same thing here, vectorize. And same thing, smoothing down, corners up, trace. Yep, that's what we want, accept. So there we go. So, for example, real quick, Control V again for paste. So now we have two copies, and let's just say, oh, awesome, I'm ready to print. And you don't see the print, but then when you click on this one, it says cut selected. You're like, alright, but I want two, but it won't let me cut. This one it will, this one it won't. Why not? That is because to be able to cut, it turns it into like G-code essentially to be able, like the line art. So if I come over here in Vinyl Master, if I click that, it turns it into the line art that I'm talking about. So this is what the cutter or the blade in the cutter follows for its contour to be able to cut that shape. And on this one, it doesn't have that. It's a grayed out image. So it doesn't know what to follow, what line for the blade to follow. So that's why I won't let you cut. This one, no cut, this one cut. So sometimes before I cut, I just like to select the whole design, and for instance, if we go back to this one and select the whole design, you can see cut selected. So that I know I'm ready to go. Okay, back into it. So let's get rid of this guy. Okay, next thing we want to do is let's orient these guys to make them kind of how we want. So first, let's get a size that we like. And let's get this one. And I just kind of, roughly lay them over each other so we kind of get the size close. Then put this one a little bit angle this way, and we'll put this one a little bit of an angle this way. And I want that neck to be turning a different way, so if you go like this and bring it in, it'll flip it over. Then I can get that neck going that way. You can also right click Object Displays, Transformations, and I can mirror vertically or mirror horizontally. So that's another way. So we'll turn that neck that way. And let's just kind of move them around till we get something that we like. And about there, probably good. And then take Airbrush Savvy. So right now, you can see everything like kind of meshes together and it gets all crazy. So what we're going to do to break that up is click on our Airbrush Savvy logo and come up here to the little apple. So this little apple is a contour cut. So that's what cuts a contour around the shape. So here it is. And you can see when I raise and lower that it creates that contour shape around your image. So what we want to do is get something we like, something that'll make it pop. And that'll work. So we'll do accept. Now here's where it gets a little tricky. When you go to, because right now it comes in as like a dashed line. So what you want to do is grab a hold of that and move it. And you can see that when you moved it, it's just the dashed line that moved. And then I do Control Z, and I bring that back. That way I know this my dashed line I selected. And then so let's just go like what we did before, red. So when you do that, that dashed line is actually the top layer, and that's not what we want. So if you right click, Object and Display Tools, Order, and go back one. And it's like, that's not quite what we want either. So let's click it, Order, back one. It's like, still not. Back one again. There it is. So now that we have that, let's select this guitar, hold Control, hold Shift, and select both guitars. And let's go ahead and group those. Right click, Object and Display, maybe it'll let me. It should be grouped. I'm not sure why it's doing that. There, we'll grab that. We'll group those. Right click, Order. We'll bring that to the front. There we go. So now that we have that to the front, and now when we go to move it around, I'm using the arrow keys to do like a major move. If you want to do like a really fine move, if you hold Control and arrow up and down, it can do like a fine adjustment. So there's that. So let's say that's pretty good placement. So now next, what we want to do is add like a little bit of fun flair to it. So what I'll do is I already found let's just let's just go from scratch. I already have these pictures saved in my images, but let's just say if you're doing it from scratch, let's just go splat vector. So then we get all kinds of stuff. So, ooh, here's a new one. I haven't seen this one before. Yeah, let's try this one. So, again, find the image you like. Snipping tool. And every now and then you'll get that logo for Pinterest. If you try not to hover over it, you see when you hover over the image, it'll say, ooh, save it to your Pinterest. So if you do new snip and stay off of it, then you should be fine. So we'll go in here, click that, copy, minimize that, here, paste, vectorize it, turn it into line art so we can actually use it. And it's not so important that you do smoothing and quarters with a splat, but we'll do it anyway. Just a good habit to stay in. Accept that, and there it is. And the awesome thing about it is it doesn't have to be brown. You know, we can change it to whatever color we want. So that's something else that makes it pretty cool. So let's take that one and stick it there. And let's find a different one. Okay, jump in Google, look through our images, and we have this guy. This guy looks pretty cool. So again, snipping tool, new, stay off the image, let it go gray. If it messes up, you can just exit out of it or hit cancel, click it again, and new. Grab a hold of most of it. It's okay if you don't get it all. It just adds a little extra effect. And then copy, minimize that, in here, paste, vectorize, turn it into that line art so it's usable. Trace. And see, this time I didn't even bother turning down the smoothing and corners, and it looks just fine. Accept that. And since we're going with like a hot cold thing, let's do this one more of a, let's try like this color blue. Grab the corner, scale it around how we want it. And this one, I want to try to turn this one a little bit. So, yeah, there we go. Cool. So there's that. Now, one last thing. So, a design looks pretty good when it has like a nice like line around it. So maybe that's just my opinion. Kind of makes it look finished. So what I like to do, so I can kind of see what I'm doing, I'll come here into my shapes and I'll grab a square and I'll throw a big old square over it. So you can choose like whatever color you want the square to be. So let's say we're putting this on a black shirt. So what I like to do is I'll make this like super big and then right click, object and displays, order, and send it all the way to the back. That way it's hiding back there. But then you see, oh no, our guitars disappeared. Well, no they didn't. They're just blending in because it's all black. So what we're going to do is select our whole design and we want to group it. That way it's all one image. So now when I click off, click back on, it's all together. It's all snapped together. If you need to grab an element out of there, if you just click again and ungroup, then you can go back in and ungroup that and then move it all around again. So like what we did before with the Airbrush Savvy, come up here, contour cut, create a cut contour, and you can see now this time it is doing a nice contour cut around the whole image, which is super cool. So yeah, we'll get kind of something we want, which is that's not too bad. So let's make it a little thicker. There we go. Accept that. So again, what we're gonna have is when you move it, so right when you get out of contour cut, everything's still all grouped together. So if we get out, try to click on the dashed line, move it, our dashed lines move. Now we know we just have that selected, and I want that. We'll do Control Z, take it right back where it was, and we'll do white. Now see, everything disappeared, but that's just because it jumped to the top. So right click, Object and Displays, Order, send it back. Now you want to highlight everything and group that design. So now everything's all grouped together. So then we can grab our black background, throw it over, right click, Object and Display, Order, send back. And then there it is. There is our finished design. Now you can go back and put a couple different contour cuts and then make them all different colors, and then you can kind of space them off to the left or to the right and make them smaller and kind of make it so it fades away. You can spend hours and hours to detail this out, but we are over our 15-minute, and this is it. So if you like what you saw, awesome, thank you. Please subscribe. I try to do a tool tutorial and a tool video. I pick a tool out of my toolbox and I talk about it. Also do airbrushing videos and how-to videos. Also, we're doing a lot of work on the CNC machine right now. So please